Hello everybody. I just got finished with the Ulti video and it is currently uploading to YouTube. It is 1:20 in the morning. So I spent somewhere around 5 or 6 hours tonight on these spreadsheets. It was one problem after another with formulas, or not, well, yeah, there was some formula issues where I had changed where the short call used to say weekly. There was still some formula issues when some stuff downloaded today, and then we had issues with the trades weren't wanting to download at all in this workbook. And then eventually they would just pop up, but I could go to the website and I could download the spreadsheets, which is what I started to do. And then I was going to copy and paste everything over manually, but it finally did end up coming up working. And then I started trying to make some changes. Of course, I'm looking at this and I see one thing I didn't do. But in the Ulti workbook, I started putting in formatting and different things. So I did that here. And then, of course, I've added some things that some other people may have, suggested in column T. I think somebody suggested that before. So I added that, which then helps me. I don't have to go back and look and compare and see which ones were new and, and whatnot. So I don't think I made any changes to the holdings. I did not. So it was mainly just this one to try to make it in line somewhat with the way I do the Ulti one. So they're very similar. But don't forget to like the videos, the ones that you like and want to see. I will tell you right now, because I showed it on last night's video. I don't have it up for tonight. But the last few of these videos, I'm only getting like maybe 5 or 7 likes. 5 to 7 people like this video. The Yieldmax single stock ETFs, or the named ETF ones. And the Ulti ones, I'm getting maybe like 24 or 30 likes. So that tells me that people like the Ulti more, so I'm going to prioritize that, and unless, this one, people start liking these more. And then if I end up having to stop doing one because I am doing my 2 paid jobs and then I'm doing this unpaid job, things that I would have to start reducing are my videos. So been doing these 2 daily. And the way I'm going to choose, the way I continue will be based on the likes. So if this one continues to have the least likes and I get to the point where I can't spend, 5 or 6 hours a night doing spreadsheets and doing videos and uploads, because I might actually need sleep some days, that I might end up dropping one. So I know some of you have probably heard this already, but I just wanted, for those that hadn't, since we're only having like 5 to 7 people liking the video. But anyway, we will move on. Those were the only real changes. Just a reminder that I'm going to try to do the same thing this weekend I did last weekend, which is the weekly roundup. Last week I did go over the whole past 3 weeks. They will be on the sheet, of course, but the main thing would be looking at, okay, where did we stand before this and where are we at with this week's trades. So, yep, we're going to get to it. So we have AIYY here, and the first 2 lines, they ended up adding to, that's my new column in the right. They ended up adding to the synthetic that we already had, 245 contracts. And then they opened up, they closed the one that's going to expire tomorrow. So with that said, I should probably go back and change the formula, because if it's closed, it's closed. We're not adding to anything, right? So I am going to, it's hard to make something red that's not there because the formulas are gone. What I'm going to do, though, I'm just going to make all of this red. And this is like my thing now. And then if I don't remember why later, sorry about that, I just come back to this video and find where I marked something red. But I'll fix that right there, since I'm sorry about that. I didn't even think about that. I was just looking at the other things. But anyway, so we closed out the short call that expires tomorrow. It looks like it cost 1 cent, which is what's the minimum, right? Because with these and the single stock ETF, or the named ETF for the Yieldmax, they cannot hold the stock in these funds, right? So they have to pay to close them out. So the minimum to pay is 1 cent, and that's what they ended up doing today. So that was good. And it was 1 cent a share, and we had 5,735 shares, or contracts. Sorry, not shares. So anyway, we closed that one out. It cost us $5,735, and then we opened up. So actually, let me do, that's a correction, right? I need to look at all the lines, because Max told me that for here, because I didn't look at the number of contracts on the rest of them, but on the closed line, if you look at the next line here, I guess let me just click on it. This right here is basically they're rolling it. So they didn't really close it, they rolled it. Max, you can tell me if I said that wrong. But here, the one that expires tomorrow, they rolled it till next Friday. So it will expire on the 15th. And then that's what the top three lines were, is we had new 245 contracts. So they created a new short call that will expire next week. But then they also had to, do the synthetic call put as well for those same amount of contracts. So anyway, the total cost for all of these ended, well, not costs, but the total for all of this, they ended up bringing in $588,000 for those. And you can see it was mainly due to that short call that they rolled, because they made about $500,000 on that, or they brought in $500,000 in premium on that. And so on this one, we're swapping back and forth. Sorry, when I was doing Ulti, I'm like, I don't even remember if we swapped back and forth, because it's been a few days since they did trades, and we've only done them like twice. And so if you didn't watch my other video, or you didn't watch it first, I apologize for my husband. Every time I do hear him snore, though, I hit him if it makes you feel better. And then I live in an RV, so we live in a really small spot, and he actually has to go to work in the morning, so. And who knew I was going to be up until 2 o'clock again, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning again, doing these. So I apologize to y'all, and I apologize to my husband as well. But moving on over here, we can see AIYY ended up closing down at 1601 today. AI closed at 3177, and I did not fix this. Now I realize, so these are copied values. So what I did not fix were these. So what it is I have some formulas built in, and all of our synthetics were March 15th. Of course, we're getting towards March 15th. So now they're short calls, or getting short calls. Anyway, I forgot to do that on this workbook. I did it on the other one. I tried to make formulas for most things, so I don't have to do a lot of stuff manually. Shoot. Sorry, something just caught my eye. Also, that sum of that right there is, oh, never mind. That's the sum of the short call. And it didn't sum it because I didn't have it marked as a short call, and I don't have the formulas. So let's see. Since I didn't make any changes, we should be able to go here, and then the formulas will update. I do apologize for the last, shoot. Wait a minute. Oh, I can't paste values in here. Or I haven't figured out how. I guess I should just Google it. I'm sorry, I really hate working on this, and I don't have the computer in here. And I'm sorry for saying I'm sorry. I know that was mentioned this morning too. And I said I was going to try to stop saying it as much, but here I am saying it anyway, right? My bad. Okay. So there. Now that's going to update with the formula. Um, the bad thing is I just overwrote a formula. So what that says, since I overwrote something, I just need to make it a different color because I'll have to come back and fix my formulas there. Actually, let me make it red. All right. So here I'm thinking this is going to be quick. We're going to go through this, and then here I am not being totally prepared. All right, so that's better because over here on the left it did show our strike price is maxed out, and I'm like, that's not maxed. I don't understand. Because of the code, right? So we have a strike price of $33. It closed at the $31.77, so we are $1.23 from the strike price there. And this one doesn't close until next week. So, and I don't think I gotta get my worksheets together, the two I'm looking at. So we didn't have any AMD or AMZ trades. So AMD, we have two short calls that expire tomorrow, so they'll have to close those out. Strike prices are $2.15 and $2.20. If we look on the left, we see that it was at $2.11.38. So we haven't hit them. We're not above them, right? But over on the right, the market value is still showing them as negative $770,000. So I'm not sure at what point of day that market value was. But we're 862 from the highest strike price, but it has the least amount of contracts. And we're about $3.62 from the 215 strike price. So AMDY closed at 23.27 today. And we'll go on to AMZ. So AMZ has 3 short calls that expire tomorrow. All of our short calls expire tomorrow that they will have to close out. Just glancing over there, if they closed them out today, it says, you know what, I don't even have to do that. I forget I have a formula on this sheet. So down here, it tells me my short call value there is 59,500. And since all of those expire tomorrow, that would apply there, which is good. I'm looking the synthetics. Yeah, I'm making a little money on the synthetic, but not much. But we will see. So Amazon closed at 176.82, and we're like less than $1 from the first strike price, but of 177.50, but it has the lowest amount of contracts. So then we have the strike price of 180, so about 318 from that strike price, and then we have 182.50, 568. So it's looking okay as long as it's not doesn't start going up tomorrow, and then hopefully we can close these out fairly cheap. AMZ ended up closing at 22.69, and I know we just identified my failure to do this. I knew there was something else I needed to do. All right, so Aptly did end up having trades. So they, let me look here. So they rolled on the first line. Those are the ones that were going to expire tomorrow. They paid 11 cents a share to roll them till next week, next Friday. And then the same thing with the third line down there with the expiration date of tomorrow. They paid 2 cents a share there to roll those to next Friday. So they have taken care of the ones that will expire tomorrow. So let's see. Yeah, they don't have any that will expire tomorrow now. So Aptly closed at 16.69. We have a strike price for Apple for a short call of 172.50, and they closed at 169 today. A difference of $3.50, and we have 1 week before these expire. We'll note here, if you look, that we are significantly below our synthetic right there. So to close, if we wanted to close that out today, it would cost us almost $6.2 million. And these expire next week. So it's not looking good for those. We'll move on to Coney because it didn't have trades, but they'll have this one tomorrow. They have a short call there that expires with $240 strike, and we're currently at 242.62. And like I mentioned in the Ulti video, this one was going up in after hours because they got some kind of upgrade from somebody. So I don't know if it's going to keep going up tomorrow. It sucks because I know we were lower, but it is good that they upped the strike price because the last ones they had were significantly lower. So at least we got this one higher, but it's still showing that it would cost us $11 million to close that out today. So I don't know. We'll see tomorrow, but you see we're above the strike price, so we just hope it comes back down. Dizzo did have trades. It looks like, I'm going to guess by just looking at this, that they closed out the ones that were going to expire tomorrow. But let's see. Dizzo. Okay, sorry. Not closed out. They rolled. So the ones that were going to expire tomorrow that had the strike price of 114, they rolled those 800 contracts for 4 cents a share to next Friday. With a strike price of 113. So these trades ended up bringing in a total of $44,000. So we're going to go over back to the holdings. And Dizzo closed at 21.14. Disney closed at 110.18. Oh, I was just fixing to change the wrong one. Did I change the wrong one up here? No, I did not. That is interesting. Because, see, normally it's synthetic, short call, synthetic, synthetic, short call, synthetic. But this one is not that way. And the reason I can tell, because of the strike prices. So that means both of the first ones are synthetic, and this is my short call, which is odd because it's totally out of order the way it always is. I guess it's the wrong one. Yeah, this doesn't tell me anything yet, just by looking at the price. But I just thought I would look anyway. I would have marked that one wrong because usually the second one is the short call. Oh, I didn't mark those other ones red. I guess I'll have to go back because I didn't mark them red when I changed them. I don't like manually overwriting formulas, but this is my fault. And I don't have my computer here. It's usually dead by the time I get ready to do a video, so, or almost dead. But I guess I need to do better with that, so I have it here. When I see things, I can jump on it real quick to fix anything. But anyway, so before I mess that up, we have a strike price of 113 for a short call. And so now that's reflected over there now, and we are $2.82 away from that one. It won't expire until next week. And Dizzo closed at 21.14. And then I didn't see any meta trades, which makes sense because if you look, FBY trades. You can see we still have all the short calls here that will expire tomorrow. So we have a short call of 500, a strike price of 500, 505, 510, and 515. And we are currently we closed at 512.19. So we are above 3 of our 4 strikes. and most of our contracts are sitting at the $510 strike, and we're $2.19 above that one. Of course, our first strike, we're over it by $12. The next one, we're over it by $7, and we're $3, almost $3 away from our biggest strike price. But right now, our short call value is negative 500,000, $500,000. The good news is, if you look at the synthetic, it closes next week, and right now, if it was closed, that's a profit of 2.7-ish million. So tomorrow, well, they'll probably no, they're not going to roll these, at least not all of them. I don't know what those, they're probably going to close out some of those synthetics. I don't know how they do this or whatever, but I'm looking at the fact that here it's showing that they're negative $3 million in cash. And so if they have to close these out tomorrow and it's going to cost them another $500,000, yeah, I would expect that they would close out some of those, unless they're going to wait till next week, because I don't know like what their SOP is, their standard operating procedures are, like if they'll let their cash be negative for so many days or whatever. And I didn't check those other ones, but no, that one's not anyway. But so I don't know if they'll just let this hang out till next week to try to get max profit on the synthetic, or if they need a they need or are required to close it out before then based on their processes. But I don't know. We'll see. It'd be cool to know what those are, but I guess it doesn't matter. But it'd be cool anyway. Again, that nerd coming out in me. So it looks like Google, or Alphabet here, still has some trades, but yeah, I thought I saw one. So yeah, that of course that's wrong because it's closed. So they closed. They closed 975 contracts. That's interesting. I don't know that I've ever just seen them just close out one short call and that was it. Let's see when our next trades are. All the way down to OARC. So, I don't know, because over here this is showing that they're negative 4 million in cash. So I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm trying to readjust my iPad here. Yeah, I'm not sure why they just did that one line. Well, let's see. I'm sorry. I'm going to scroll back up. Well, it was only 2 cents to close it out. So who knows? They may have thought, because it does close tomorrow, that maybe they thought they wouldn't get any better than the 2 cents. So that's a 141 strike. Yeah, so they closed an entire one out. So that makes sense. That was the whole line. And it was only 2 cents. Like I said, maybe they didn't think or didn't want to take the chance. This one right here is 4 cents. But I don't know. It'd be nice to know what they're thinking, so then you know why they do what they do. And I know the military is different. At least I can compare it to CVS, or I don't know. In the military, right, we have we have set procedures. This is how things are done. This is why we do it. We do this in this instance and everything, right? There's always a plan. My husband, though, that works for CVS, and it might be just because of him, right? But when I ask him stuff, I can't ever get clear-cut answers, and he seems like nobody knows, and trying to talk to HR, you can't find anything out. But I don't know. I just like to learn the ins and outs of stuff, and I don't know. They may have strict procedures set, and they may not. Who knows? But anyway, I'm sorry. I got off track there. So the short calls that we have left, those strike prices, that 135 we are 62 cents away, which means at 140 we are 562 away from that one. But still not bad. If we had to close both of those out today over there, it still only shows we paid 12,000. So, oh, I guess it's a lie. I forget it's added on this one. On my ulti, it's not, but this 13,000. But looking at the synthetic, oh, that doesn't look good. Okay, so our synthetic that closes next week, our strike price is $150. And of course, we're below it, and we should be above it. So on our synthetic, we want our stock price to be above the synthetic strike price, and we want our stock price to be below our short call strike price. So we want it sandwiched right there in the middle, right? But it's not. It is below it by $15. So because of that, you can see on the, at least on that first line there, it will cost us over $3 million to close that out today. So we have 1 week. So what we really want this to do is we want this to rise by next week and get closer to that synthetic position, if not over it. But we'll move on to JPMO here. JPMO closed at 20.92. JPM closed at 187.87. And our short call that closes tomorrow, strike price is 187.50. So we are over our strike price, and we only had one short call. So we are over it by 37 cents. So we will see tomorrow, but this was showing today it would cost $1.07 a share to close out, which would be $46,000. We'll move on to Murny. It ended up closing at 1982. Moderna closed at 99.48, which is actually came up because I know that thing was like 93, 95, something like that. So it's almost back up to $100. And our short call strike price is actually $100. So that will be closed out tomorrow, hopefully only for a few cents. But right now we're 52 cents away from that one. And then MSFO. You can see, well, let's just go start with our left. MSFO closed at 21.98. Microsoft closed at 409.14. We have 4 different short calls. Strike prices 410, in which we're 80 something cents away. 412.50, 420, and 422.50, and we're 13.36 away from that one. But all those contracts, almost 900 contracts, if we closed them out today, it would only cost $12,700. However, our synthetic does not look good for next week. It expires. Right now, we'd had to pay $1 million to close it out because our strike price is $420 and we're at $409. So we need that to come up about $11 to get above that so we can not have to pay that $1 million out. But we'll move on to Misty. So it's up again today, 31.66. MicroStrategy is at 1,300. And we have 5 different short calls. We have a 12.30 strike price with 4 contracts, which of course we're over. We're over it by $70. Then we have and all these close tomorrow if I didn't say that. We have, sorry, I just thought of something, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Then we have a short call with a strike price of $13.50, so $50 from that one. And then we have a $14.30, $130 away, $14.50, $150 away, and then $1,600, $300 away. So if we had to close all those out today, it would cost us $113,000. Our synthetics don't expire still for a few weeks, but if we had to close them out today, we would have had $3.5 million. So looking pretty good. Let's move on to Nestle. Netflix closed at $18.29. Netflix, it must be up because I could have sworn it was 500 something yesterday. Netflix is at 608.51. We have our short calls that expire tomorrow with the strike prices of 620, 630, and 635. We are $11.50 from the first strike price and $26 from the last strike price. If we close them out today, it would cost about $22,000, and our synthetics don't close for a while. So we will move on to Nvidia, which closed at 29.08. I guess it's going to be in the 30s here soon. Nvidia, I did hear about a bunch today, them talking about Nvidia being over 900 or something today. But it's at 926.69. Oh, and here's one of those cases where I need to fix this. All right, sorry about that. We have strike price of $1,010. So we're $83 from that, but these don't close until next week. Now, OARC, that was the next one that we saw we had trade zone. So, OARC. So it looks like they rolled the short calls that were going to expire tomorrow to next week. They paid 11 cents a share. And that was for 13,685 contracts. And all they ended up making $711,000 on those trades. So if we move on over, nope, my bad. If we move on over to back to the holdings, oh, I bet it scrolled back to the top. Dang it. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, it didn't. Okay, we see that OARC closed at 1303, ARC closed at 5025, and our, oh, I was like, what? I'm sorry. Dang it. Okay. Short call. Oh, shirt. Okay. Short call. There we go. $52. We're $1.75 away from that strike price. But this one will close next week. So PayPay had some trades. So let's see what we got. I looked at this one earlier. I remember this. So it looked like they rolled some contracts to next week and then did not, but not for all of them. So if you add one of the 830s together and the 190, oh no, never mind. I did add that together and it did not equal that. But it does equal 920. So I don't know if they're, well, I don't know. They might have negative on the other side too. I didn't look at that. But they ended up closing out the strike prices for the short calls at 61, 62, and 63. Well, they closed some and they rolled some to next week for that one. And in all, they ended up actually making $40,000 off of those trades. So if we come over here, you can see, and actually all of these are going to expire next week because their synthetics are going to expire as well. Let me get this in here right so the formulas will pull the right data. You can see our synthetic is 1,850 shares, and our short call is 925 shares. And you see we're still negative cash right there. We're negative 33,000. So I guess that's why they closed some of those out. I can only guess. But again, if I only knew their processes, but if they want to teach me, I will. I'll learn. I'm willing to learn. Always willing to learn. So I didn't go over the prices with PayPay. So it closed at $17.55. PayPal closed at $58.50. So our short call that expires next week, $61. We are $2.50 away from that. What's not so good for this one is that our strike price that expires next week for our synthetic is $65, and we want to be above it, and we're not. In fact, we are below it by $6.50. So if we had to close that one out today, it would cost us $1.2 million. But we will move on. Oh, sorry, I dropped my pen. We'll move on to SQY, and we have lots of colors going on. So here for this one, let me look at it again. Yeah, I don't know. So the red BC is because I had to manually change the code or the type. Before they had the type B there, but I don't know if it matters or not, but 99% of the time, a B type is for a synthetic. So just to show you down here, if you look at the bottom, so here there's a B, and that's a synthetic. But for some, I don't know, every now and then you'll see them with different codes. So I don't know if it's just an error or what, but I did change that to BC for buy to close. But it looks, and I did this one too earlier. So on these contracts, I know they're not the same, but if you add that, that's $43.95, and you add those, it's $43.95. I guess they just decided they wanted them with different strike prices. So, Max, do we call it rolling if it's going to a different strike price? I don't know. Maybe you can let me know. Who knows? You might have told me and I just didn't pay enough attention because maybe I honed in on one thing that you said. But anyway, so it's just closing out those contracts and then open them for next week or rolling them. And those will expire next Friday, but now we have the strike prices of 81 and 82. And it looks like we were at 77.22, so we were like 5% away already. Anyway, all of these trades ended up we ended up bringing in $344,000. We moved over here. SQY closed at 22.68. Block closed at 77.22. And let's see. So this one's going to be one of those that's backwards again. And I don't know why with the sorting. I don't know, because you think they'd all be the same. But your first two there are the synthetics, because if you look at the strike prices, those say $80. So your synthetics are going to be the same price, but one of them will have a 1 cent on it and the other one will not. So again, that's how I know that those are the synthetics. And then these are the short calls that we saw that were just purchased or sold. Yeah, sold. I thought I knew I said that wrong because it's weird with options and stuff, which I do not do and don't know a lot about. So I'm learning though. So we have the $81 strike price here and our $82 strike price. So we're $378 and $478 from those. We also have our synthetic positions that expire next week. Strike price is $80 and block is $77.22. So we're under that by $2.78. So if we had to close those out today, it would cost us 1.2. What am I can't even do math. Am I looking at the right line? Yeah. Okay, there we go. almost $1.2 million, but we have 1 week left. We will see. I don't know if we had Tesla trades. Yes. So we have Tesla and Zomo. And if you want to see the Ulti, that's a separate video. I'm glad I separated those out because these are taking forever, both of them, about the same amount of time. It takes me about the same amount of time to do Ulti as it does to do all of these. It's very time consuming. So I hope y'all appreciate it. And if you do, if you could hit the like button, that would be appreciated. But for Tesla, looks like we're looking at all the short calls. So I think we saw on the other side they closed out all of the short calls that were going to expire tomorrow. They closed some of them out. They rolled some of them. You can see the cost per share to close or roll those. You had 3 cents, 4 cents, and 7 cents. So I guess that's not bad. It could be a lot worse, right? If you look there, let me touch it. So these two, like you can see, this one was rolled to here. But up here, if you add those together, that's over 30,000 contracts, and we only opened on that second one 9,845. They're both for the same strike price, but that's only going to give us 20,000 contracts versus the 40 something thousand we had there. But before I move over to the other, just to mention, of course they paid to close these out, but they got the premium. They got the premium on these other ones, which was $4.6 million. So that's pretty good, but it's not going to matter when it comes to that synthetic. I hate to say it. And I know I'm laughing, but it's really sad, like really sad. So Tesla here, 1615, sorry. This is after the reverse split. Tesla 178.65. So in this case, we have two different synthetics. So you see at the top we have 185 and 220. So then we have 185 and then 220. So this one, in between those two, is our short call that we just saw on the other on the trades tab for today. So all these will expire next Friday. Our short call right there is showing a negative 4.1, which I said we just got like 4.6. So, it's like 500,000 up still between them if it was closed out today. But the synthetics are really hurting. Every day goes by, it just keeps getting worse. Like one day it was going to cost us $50 million to close it out, and the next day it was going to cost us $95 million to close it out. And I think the next day it was maybe $110 million, and now today, let me find the other line. It goes with that one, 1222. So okay, yeah, it still doesn't matter. It's going to cost us right now $125 million. And so now I'm wondering if those other ones was me adding all of them together, because this one at the top, it's going to cost $11 million. Of course, it looks like it's going to make 3 off of the other synthetic there at the bottom. So it's really not looking good, and having to possibly pay $130 million out. I'm really curious if we've ever had to do that before with that large amount, or, like I said, I haven't really seen it, but I've only been doing this a few weeks. But when I saw that thing jump, I started going back and looking at least at the historical data I had. Man, it's really bad. And it's bad because we were up, and then we tanked again, or Tesla was up and it tanked again. But anyway, sorry, but it's not looking too good there. Our short call is 187.50, and we're at 178.65. and the difference is $8.85. And so this was what I was going to point out the first, and I forgot. See, it shows our cash is still negative. And you know what? I just remembered. I forgot. We have the money market account too. So it's positive. I mentioned something about some of them up there being negative, but we have money here sitting in these new money market accounts. And since it's in alphabetical order, these are falling. I mean, it's not obviously true in the alphabetical order. It's in alphabetical order with the tickers. I'm not really sure how they get these things sorted the way that they do here. But anyway, I was trying to say, I don't remember which one. So that one was negative, but I thought it was this one that was significantly negative. So yeah, even with this one, with the cash for Google or Alphabet here, if they take that out, their cash pot there is still negative. I wonder what the plan is going forward with those and what their standard procedures are going to be for that. Sorry, I'm going slow. I was trying to figure out where you were. We were at Tesla. Okay. Well, it's going to be a rough week next week. We'll just see how that goes. We have Zomo over here. Closed at 17.44. Exxon closed at 107.37. We have a short call here with the strike price of $110. And we've been usually going over the strike prices and sitting over it for a while, and it's been hurting this one. But fix that. This one will expire next Friday, and we're $2.63 from that strike price. If we move on to YMAG closed at 20.65 and YMAX closed at 21.65. I have prepped a video for these, but I didn't make it the other night like I was going to. And honestly, at this point, I don't know if there's a point in me making a video over the weekend talking about it and then turn around and doing a follow-up on Monday to give an estimate. I don't even know. I had to look to see when Declaration Day was, but I was thinking it was Tuesday. So I don't know, but my plan is I was going to do a video showing why the payout is not as high as people are expecting or wanting it to be. And then I was going to show, why and the calculations. And then I was going to wait and do the actual estimate on Monday to get it, because it'll be more accurate. The closer you get to it, the more accurate it's going to be, because people are still buying in and stuff, and the shares will change. But y'all let me know if you want to. Like I said, I've already got the other workbook built. I was actually working on that yesterday when that several hours that I was working on spreadsheets last night. But let me know. And then there's YMAX here, and it closed at 21.65. I don't know if I said that a second ago. And then Ulti, all that stuff's on the other workbook. And it's been so long that, again, I'm not even going to try the roll-up tab. But I will definitely do a roundup video this weekend. I can go over trades tomorrow. I might do the YMAG video if you want it. The weekly, I got to make sure I'm in order here, make sure I get things done. But y'all just let me know what you think and what you want, what you're looking for. And like the video if you like watching these, if you like seeing these out there. Anyway, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to let y'all go and see if I can get a few hours of sleep before I have to go to work. Hope y'all have a good day tomorrow. Bye.